Morgan Stanley is looking to capitalize on what it calls a $1 trillion blind spot for investors, multicultural and women-owned businesses. These companies, on average, raise 80% less capital than businesses overall. So what will it take to change that funding landscape? Let's bring in Carla Harris. She's a vice chairman at Morgan Stanley and head of the Multicultural Client Strategy Group. Carla, welcome back. Good to have you with us.
Thank you very much for
having you. Nice to have you
here.
So what have you all done at Morgan Stanley? You have like a kind of, this is year 3 of kind of an incubator program?
That's exactly right. We call it an accelerator, regular way accelerator like those that exist in the market, but we focus specifically on multicultural and women entrepreneurs. And we give them 3 things. We give them cash, we give them content, a 6-month program with excellent content where we actually leverage the in-house expertise of Morgan Stanley professionals, but also our external network. And then we also connect them to our investment banking, sales and trading, and other clients that might help scale their business.
So you started with some 300 applicants and you winnow it down to 10 into which Morgan Stanley puts its own skin.
That's exactly right. And that's what's significant, the fact that we've never had a supply issue. If you talk to people today about why don't you invest more with women, why don't you invest more with multicultural entrepreneurs, the first response you get is, I can't find any, and how big is that market? Well, let me say it again clearly, there is not a supply issue. We've had no trouble at all getting lots of companies to actually apply and then choosing only 10.
So a lot of these here are companies that are small now, they're growing.
That's
they're
right.
not companies we would have maybe heard of. A lot of them are software companies, some of them are medical related one way or another. But let me drill a little particularly on what a company has to show you to qualify as multicultural or women run. What does that mean?
Yes, so they either have to have a founder or someone in the C-suite, the CTO, CMO, but mainly the CTO or the founder has to be multicultural, so African-American, Hispanic-American, Asian-American, American Indian, or it has to be a woman, or they could be both in this case. And they all have to be tech-enabled, and there has to be proof of concept. So either they have revenue or they could be pre-revenue, but they have to show that there's some efficacy with respect to the product or the service that they're offering to the market.
So do you take an equity stake in these businesses?
Yes, which is common practice for all accelerators. Most accelerators take a single-digit percentage of the company, usually somewhere less than 10%, and in some cases less than 5%, and for us it's generally less than 5%.
So there are 10 sort of finalists here that you'll be working with. I know you don't want to say exactly how much money you've put in, but is it roughly the same amount of money in each of the 10, or do some get a little more and some get a little less?
No, it's across the board the same amount that we put in all of the companies, and the percentage will depend on where they are with respect to their respective
I think we know the answer, but I'm going to ask you directly, why has there been such a deficit in the funding sources for women-owned or multicultural run companies?
Yes,
Why?
I think it's been widely reported on the fact that the VC community has been a tight-knit, closed community, and if you didn't grow up in it or you don't have specific ties to it, then you don't even get a look in most cases. And that's why it's been so difficult traditionally for both women and multicultural entrepreneurs to break into that and get access.
There are some companies, Uber among them, that have apparently tied executive bonuses to advancing multiculturalism in the executive ranks or in the employee ranks. I'm not going to ask you to comment specifically on what Uber has done, but as a general tool, can that be an effective way to bring more multiculturalism into the C-suite?
And what you're talking about is internal versus external, right? So you're talking about tying the compensation to promoting multicultural folks within that organization. And you are right, that is one tool that a company could use. I mean, you would like it to be a part of the culture, as it is in some companies, but...
And not have to incentivize it that way.
But you know what, the fact of the matter
is... But if it works, it works.
If it's going to be helpful, absolutely, use it as a tool.
Carla, thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All righty.